So in this episode of the Day Nap Chronicles, we have Jamestown. He's 47 and he wasted no time. His very first message to me wasn't even hello. He said, "Can I have your number so that we can get to know each other?" Sir, I don't even know if I want to get to know you on this app. I said I prefer to keep things here on the app initially, just to see if we vibe. Tell me a little about yourself. What are your hobbies? He goes on to tell me things about himself, his hobbies, and asks me about mine. He then asked me if I had children and what their ages were. So I tell him I have 3 children, 22, 16, and 15. My oldest is out the house on his own. I asked him if he had children. So while I'm waiting on his response, I go check out his profile. He's divorced. He works in logistics. He's looking for something serious. So I go back, I tell him, I see you don't have kids and you want children. That doesn't work for me, but I wish you well on your search. And here's the thing, my youngest 2 children are from my ex-husband, and the way he shows up for them was directly tied to how he felt about me. When he thought that we might get back together, he was consistent. When I stood firm that we were done, he disappeared. He's supposed to have them every other weekend visitation, every other holiday. In the summers, he's supposed to get them, but he doesn't show up. After years of going back and forth in court, I finally got some child support, but let's be real, child support is for basic expenses. It doesn't cover the $463 surgery that my son just had. It won't cover the $573 wisdom tooth extraction that my daughter needs next month. It doesn't help with baseball, basketball, track, color guard. He refuses to help with those things, so I learned that if you have children, you got to be ready to take care of them on your own. I can do it, but I don't want to do it alone. It's frustrating, and sometimes that frustration keeps me from showing up as my best self. So when a man says that he wants kids or he doesn't have kids, I pay attention to that. I've already lived what it looks like when words and actions don't line up. So back to Jamestown. He tells me that he has a 24-year-old son and he doesn't want more kids. I said, that's not what your profile says. And this is why you have to pay attention, not just to what people say, but also what they show you. And here's the red flag that people might miss. If someone is being inconsistent about basic information this early about whether or not you have children, that already lets you know what you can expect later. That's not a small lie. That's a pattern of misrepresentation. And if he actually has a child and didn't mention that up front, it's probably because he doesn't have a relationship with that child. That says a lot about how he shows up in relationships in general. How someone treats the people that they've helped create is a direct reflection of how they'll treat you. I received several more notifications saying that he was sending me messages, but when I finally got a chance to go view them, it said this profile was no longer available. Yeah, why Jamestown blocked me? Men like this often come in with a pattern. They lead with flattery and quick intimacy, like asking for my number off the top. They're used to women being flattered, compliant, and curious enough to play along. When I didn't follow the script, I slowed the pace, asked questions. I was able to pick up on the inconsistencies. He lost control of the interaction, and blocking me was the only way that he could regain control. The moment I told him that's not what your profile says, I exposed the gap between what he was saying and reality. People who operate in dishonesty and telling half-truths don't like when you see them clearly. Blocking me was a way for him to avoid that. I held a mirror to what he didn't want to see. His goal was never to get to know me. He wanted to see how quickly he could gain access to my number, my time, and my energy. Once I established that I had standards and discernment, I wasn't an easy target. He got out of here. A mature man would have just said, I understand, no hard feelings. An emotionally immature man blocks me like Jamestown. It's an ego defense. Him blocking me allows him to pretend like he's the one that rejected me. Now he doesn't have to sit in the discomfort of being called out. So yeah, that's Jamestown, the man whose profile didn't match his story. And that's today's episode of the Day Nap Chronicles.